Hello everyone, and welcome to a quick Aquanox Deep Descent tips and tricks video that's going to serve for some beginners to understand the game better and the user interface better in these early alpha stages of the game. I'm Norbert. I'm going to start with quickly looking at the interface, at the controls, and just looking at how the game itself can be played. So this is our host menu. Up at the top we can change between the different game modes, whether you want deathmatch and team deathmatch. There's a third game mode which is going to be available in the future, and whenever we want to host a certain game, we select the mode we want, we click host, select the map we want, we can give it a name. I'm gonna name it test server. Leave it at deathmatch, no bots, because Mikhail, our art director, is going to be joining me on this session, and that's about it. Now, while the game itself loads up, let's quickly look at the controls. The important parts are the movement ones and the dodges, and I will explain exactly how each one of them works in the game, and obviously the different kind of weapons. The cool part about the way ships work is that depending on which ship class you're actually playing, they feel and act fairly differently in the game. And what we're trying to do here is that every player can kind of adjust, select the ship and adjust this ship to their playstyle. Up here, first you need to choose your faction. There are a few. Obviously, we only have 2 ships in the alpha right now. We have the Recon or Recon and the Combat class. Now, the biggest difference is Recon or Scout or Assassin. People call it differently. It's a small and agile ship. It's supposed to be something that you use to hide and shoot from the distance. You shoot a bit, you hide, you shoot a bit, and you hide again. That's kind of how I played, at least. Combat, on the other hand, it has a lot more health, it has a lot more durability, and it's supposed to do what the name says. It is supposed to be for combat. I'm going to start with Recon and quickly explain our control scheme. Now, we are using a physics-based movement, which means if you travel in the water and you release going any kind of direction, your ship will keep on going for a few seconds and then come to a stop. You can move sideways. As you see, it needs some time to stop. It's not instantaneous, and need to be careful not to crash into things. And you can go upwards and downwards by using space and control on the keyboard. If you tap space, you're going to do a quick jump, or you tap control, you're going to do a downwards jump. Now, right of my minimap, you can see these bars filling up. Those are my so-called dodge bars. If I'm traveling in any kind of direction and I tap shift, I'm going to do a quick jump to that direction. Now, this is really useful if you want to avoid some incoming fire quickly. Like you see a torpedo coming towards you, well, you better get out of the way. If you hold shift, you will get a speed boost to travel faster and to get away from enemies. Now, in the case of the Recon ship, this is very useful. As I described, it's much more about staying far away from the enemy. Now, Mikhail should be joining in the game fairly quickly, and we can see all these movements in action. Let's just quickly collect up some items, which is another important part. You start a multiplayer match with the breaker or torpedo weapon and the Stingray, which is kind of like a chain machine gun. The purple ones, as the wrench icon shows, is a repair kit. Left of the minimap you see my shield and health. I need to keep those high at all times, because otherwise I will just die and sink to the bottom. Now, as you see, there are these boxes of different kind of glowy stuff. These are ammo pickups, and this is a weapon. Now you start with the breaker and the stingray, but you can pick up different weapons in the game. I picked up the railgun on the left, and which we call shard, and the hazard, which is like a bio repeater. There's going to be a variation of these weapons in the game, and there's a fifth primary weapon, which is the shotgun. I'm not going to follow up on that right now. I'm going to quickly show you how you can customize your weapons. If you press I, or you press and hold Alt, you will bring up a radial menu. You have a bunch of stuff to do here. You can toggle your headlights, you can view different screens, and you can go to the inventory. Now, if in the inventory you can look at the different pieces of equipment you have on your ship. This is going to be important if you want to find the best ship you want. You can look at the inventory, you can look at all the stats that are there, and you can also customize your weapon sets. You can see that I had breaker and stingray by default. I picked up different weapons which automatically get equipped into my second set, but I can also make my custom set or just customize any of my sets in here. Let's see, I'm gonna combine breaker, I'm gonna leave the breaker there, I'm gonna change stingray to hazard. Now this is a really good combo because both of these weapons have homing projectiles. That's Mikhail there, by the way. I fire my right weapon with the right mouse button, left weapon with my left mouse button. Fairly straightforward. Now the important stuff is that whenever I want to switch between my weapon sets, I can use 7, 8 or 9. Now I don't have anything in my third weapon set, so I cannot switch there. In order to select an enemy and target lock so that my weapons start homing, let's just say hello to Mikhail quickly. By pressing F6 I can open up the chat interface. I can close the chat. He's not happy about that one. If I select him with my middle mouse click, you can see that the reticle changes from the whitish to this red with health and distance to the enemy in his AR grid kit, which is kind of like a shield mechanic. Whenever my ship target is selected, if I shoot a weapon that has homing properties, it will automatically home in on him, which is very useful if you have weapons that has this kind of a feature. Now, whenever I want to engage someone in combat, it's very important that whenever we fight, I use my dodges left and right, up and down, so that I can avoid whatever is coming at me. So I will let Mikhail shoot me and show you how exactly I try to avoid his shots. And that was not successful. So whenever I see an incoming torpedo, I can just keep on trying using left and right dodges to stay away from him. And also while fighting, I can use the dodges in order to change my location and make it harder for him to even shoot at me. Now I'm gonna let him kill me and switch to a, well, fighter class. Okay. There we go. So let's quickly change my loadout. To combat, and also select my pilot. So a meaningful difference between the fighter and the scout is fighter is slower, it has more health, it starts with the same weapons right now. However, it also has secondary weapons. Now if I go over into a free view mode so that I can look around my cockpit, you see that there's a little screen in the bottom right, a bit right from my minimap, which shows 2 turrets. If there is an enemy nearby and I have my turrets on, these turrets will automatically fire at the enemy and help me in my combat. Now let's just find him. He's somewhere here. Where is he hiding? There he is. So I'm gonna turn on my turrets. As you see, they automatically start firing at him. And they're a pretty handful actually, they can be quite strong. Now one thing I actually didn't show was the special ability of the Scout, which is an EMP attack. The combat has a missile barrage or torpedo barrage ability, and it is activated by using or pressing the Q key, and it's actually quite a powerful thing. Now every ship in the game, every class has a set of unique abilities which are fairly useful. As you could see, my secondary weapons detected, that was an EMP, which, as you can see right from my minimap, my energy and my dodge slots are depleted, so I am restricted in movement now. However, my secondary weapons make a short deal. Oh, he's dodging. It's also important to understand and over time get a good feeling of how the different weapons behave in the water. Some weapons you need to pre-fire so that the different bullets hit on time. And he's trying to get behind me. I don't think he will get that. So that was a good example of what no one should do with a Scout, getting too close. Anyways, I think I covered most of the important things in the game. We will probably be doing a lot more smaller videos, which will be focused on certain aspects in a lot more detail. This is more of a general one, and I hope I helped at least someone to start getting into the game and understanding the controls a bit better. So see you guys in the next videos. Have fun!